quick one on the new Champions League format. To be honest, I've been skeptical about how this was going to play out in terms of the amount of games that the players are exposed to. So I don't think it should be even surprising that we're seeing a lot of teams having so many injuries at this point of the season. So Man City, for instance, what Arsenal has had to deal with. Um, I think in recent times, Liverpool, we hear that a number of players are starting to be out for long periods, and I think it's the same in many clubs. Barcelona as well having long term injuries. Real Madrid. These are top teams that um, top teams that are having key players out for long periods. And as a fan, I feel kind of slighted because you want to see the best players on your screen on the field almost every week. So if the schedule doesn't allow that, then you can't enjoy the competition. So I don't know. I don't think that's really helped from that perspective because it's not even helping us as fans to see the best players on the pitch regularly. So that's my own take on it.
Okay, nice one. Thank you very much. So, personally, I like the excitement it brings. I mean, this new dynamic. I mean, if you look at the table, you see some teams that you expect to be up on the table, they are actually below, and some upsets have been happening. I mean, Lille beating what's it called? Beating um, Barcelona, and then Feyenoord drawing 3-3, and then Juve beating Man City. So all these results have just been actually exciting. I'm not going to lie. And but then this is the first time they're running this format. So I like everything to play out to the end. Once we are done with this season, then we can now come back again and now have maybe a thorough discussion on whether or not UEFA should think about changing it or going back to the old one or stick to it. But for now, I just like the excitement. But I understand a lot of players are getting injured most of the time because of this tournament. I mean, the injury list from last year actually it's been crazy. And football right now, a lot of games, more games are being played every year. I mean, I understand the old heads will always say that they always play the game no matter what. But right now, it's really hard on these players to play week in week out, 2 3 games every week, and not just regular games but high intensity games. It's really very hard. But moving on to the next topic, and I would like, I mean, I like the fact that we have 3 Barcelona fans in the house, and this topic actually has to do with the with your ex, well, your best ever manager, if I could say that, and that's Pep Guardiola. And we all know exactly what's happening to Man City right now, and it's I would say it's unprecedented for Pep. One, because he's never had this kind of run in his managerial career, and secondly, he's never been in this position at any club he's managed. He's never been there up to this point where he has to rebuild. So let me start with Nwana because he's the neutral here. He's not a Barcelona fan. He's not a Man City fan. I'd like to ask you, what do you think? What do you think may be the problem with Man City in general? Because it's not just Pep; it's a Man City problem because Pep is just the manager. The players themselves have not been delivering.
The key player,
I think you
Rodri is
managed.
the problem.
One player. How can one player be? Okay,
Rodri is the problem
okay, can you elaborate on that? How can one player really be the problem?
because of Pep Guardiola plays with midfield. He doesn't use like he does not want striker. His game is in the midfield. That's where he plays from.
Okay.
That
So
was that what all I have to say.
okay. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. So Nwana, like I'll come back to you. So what's your take? What do you think? What do you think exactly is wrong with Manchester City right now, with the way they've been playing, with the poor result? I mean, this is one win in 11, if I'm not mistaken. So what do you think exactly might be the problem in Manchester City?
Uh, I think the problem here is the first part is that the squad, for the kind of season that we're having with the amount of games and the way the schedule is, the squad is now too small. So in the last few weeks with these results, you've had half of the squad not not fit, and then the other half overworked. Yes, that Rodri is a big problem. But I think the bigger problem here was allowing Alvarez to go with no replacement. I think that was the bigger issue here. The squad is small for the kind of season that they're having, and then you now have all these injuries happening. But you have a striking problem in the sense that one striker was allowed to go, no replacement, no replacement for Alvarez. So what happens if Haaland is not up to it? Happens if Haaland is not performing? What if Haaland cannot conjure up this? We don't need physical strength. We just need someone who is smart and quick on his feet in moments that Man City have faced. What happens then? Those are the questions that we're now answering now because they don't have an answer. They need Haaland to score. Haaland can score. They need Foden to create. He can't create. They need
Now,
Brenner to create. And the Brenner is not even available. So, but the Rodri thing, yes, has exposed a lot of. I mean, of course, he's a big loss for them. But I think the matter is deeper than Rodri. I think there's the striking problem and the fact that half of the squad has been injured. So to add to that, I don't think Pep has ever been in this position before, where he's on this bad run of games. So he doesn't have any real experience of how to deal with this thing to fall back on. If this was Klopp, we know that Klopp somewhere in his history has dealt with this kind of problem, but not Pep. And I think he, the answer the answers to all these things he does not have because he has never experienced it before. That's what I think is going on.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. I was watching ESPN and they were talking about because I mean, bad as it is right now, I don't think Man City is going to sack Pep. But then the thing is, if these results continue, is there a possibility of Pep himself saying, "Okay, I think this is getting too much. I'm going to have to resign," because they were like, because if they continue with this form, that might actually be the end result. Because I've had guys on the program like Banter was here last week. You know about. He said that Man City they can't sack Pep because of what he's done for the club. He's brought them to the level at which they are now European giants. So they probably won't be able to sack him. But then the thing is, this kind of form can't really be allowed to continue because this is Manchester City we're talking about, defending champions, Champions League winners. They're a big club right now. But one of the reasons they're a big club because of this manager, that's Pep. But with this run of form, I mean, I don't know about you, but I believe that if this was a Madrid coach with this kind of form, they probably would have sacked him. I mean,
Yeah,
Wusu,
but
yeah, because Wusu,
yeah,
you are a La Liga fan.
it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same, but this run of form, I mean, one
No,
win
it's not
in
the same.
11 games is actually very, very terrible.
It's not the same. Look. See, I'm a big. If it this run started before they offered him the 2-year contract,
Hmm.
this run already started. They were already losing games before he signed the new deal, and it's not like as if they didn't know that things were going to be rough like this. See, I think the context is when you have a manager who has done 6 Premier League titles, 4 in a row, with basically the same squad, with basically the same squad, and with basically the same squad and basically the same budget as every other person else. I think from if I was the Man City exec, I think he's allowed to have one bad average season
Yeah, but how bad?
because
How bad should it
look,
get?
let me. If
That's
you
the
look
thing.
at if you look at Klopp, if you look at Klopp, there was a time I think in his final season at Dortmund, around this time of the season, yeah, December, they were in the relegation. They were in relegation places. They were in relegation places. But this exact scenario was what happened to him. Half of the squad was injured. The other half was overworked. By the end of the season, they finished fifth. It was Klopp that decided by himself to step down. So, and nobody talked about him being sacked. Or people talked about him being sacked, but nobody really talked about the fact being sacked. So I agree. It's going to take something worse than what we're looking at for Man City to decide that they should sack Pep, or for Pep. I don't even think they will sack him. I think they will give him the option that, oh,
to
do you want
resign.
to go or not,
Okay.
to resign or not. But I think the level that he has reached, the level that he has reached now, I'm sure behind the scenes they can evaluate a lot of things. They can evaluate the injuries. They can evaluate the fact that this is still December, and we've seen Man City in this position before, where as of December they were not doing well, but give them from January to May, everything just stretches. You have this 25-game run where they don't lose any match. We've seen it before. Who
Yeah.
says they can't do it again?